Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live transmission, our weekly transmission. Here we are, Adriana and I, and happy to share with you another very interesting topic, which is very much in sequence to what we have been sharing for the last few shows, connecting to the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And so far, we have definitely been focusing a little bit more on the divine feminine, of course, also including the divine masculine. Yet the reason why is because there is so much to do, right now with the ether and the plasma coming in hot, that it's very important for us to truly comprehend, remember what this potential force is, because ultimately, as we will be seeing later throughout this show, it is holding the arcs of creation, of manifestation of this new earth. And then the divine masculine will give that direction, not fixated into roles. Again, it's a continuum, yet uh, we have kinetic and we have potential energy. Bottom line, we have negative pole, positive pole. So it's about going through that form of perception and getting into that full spectrum of what each energy brings into the table mainly. So, having said this, hi everyone. Hi, Adriana.
Hello, hello, hello. We're back. It's us, full of energy and fire. Today, 7-7, up to heaven. Off we go. I have a lot of energy today. It's amazing. A lot of fire today. I was like, that poor Isha, her water's gonna be coming me down again. The Venus is still in Leo for 2 more days, you guys, and Jupiter is in Leo. So before our lovely Venus, planet of abundance, prosperity, love, joy, passion, success, moves into earthy Virgo and grounds everything. These are your 2 major manifestation days that are extremely powerful. This is energetically what you kind of are dreaming for. It's the 7-7. We're going to be talking about the 7. We've been touching upon a number 7. 7 Pleiadian stars, 7 sisters, 7 Hathors. We've talked about all of them. So we have that strong day. We're of course going to go into Lionsgate 8-8. So any kind of rituals you would like to start, today's a good day to sage your house, to clean your energy, to start any money rituals. I'm not surprised if a lot of miracles showed up today for people. I've always, and I'm going to mention this because this is so funny. I always had this beef with FedEx and UPS, like looking for me when I'm not at home, and then trying to deliver and then me not getting the package and then me needing to try to set it up the next day and go pick it up. And today I was like, I missed the delivery, whatever. Tomorrow's another day. And like not even 5 minutes before, the UPS guy knocks on my door and he's like, I just thought maybe I should redeliver and try again. So today's my day of miracles. With the UPS, today's the day that I just receive and everything just gets delivered and falls into my lap. So
Exactly. Level A manifestation going on there.
it's a strong manifestation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what could be more on topic about manifestation that, again, like that potential energy, that etheric field in
Mm-hmm.
which every form of existence emerges, so now you were mentioning, let's begin, shall we begin on the
Yeah,
seventh
please.
you know so as you said, we have been touching upon this code, because the other day I was talking to someone, and he was asking me why everything is about a code, and I was sharing, actually, Brett Luter,
Mm-hmm.
we were
Mm-hmm.
doing a show, and he was asking, why everything has to do with a code. And I was like, well, when we're talking about encrypting lattices, matrices, realities, then we go for codes, because it's a way that you can install or encrypt, again, embed packages of information, let's say like as pixels or qubits.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go directly into the unconscious, and they are
Mm-hmm.
doing their job. They are expanding their informational field, and you, without being aware of it. Sometimes those codes are positive, sometimes those codes are not very negentropic, very harmonic to your field. But this is one of the reasons why it's so important to be familiar, to be comfortable with that form of creating, rendering reality, because they are super powerful, like, not to mention even the source code. They can
Mm-hmm.
in geometries, like sigils, holographic projections to compress reality, to create it, manifest it, and so forth. So now, regarding to the seven, we know also about the heptagram. The heptagram is also super powerful. We know about John Dee, that was Queen Elizabeth counselor, and he was very much of into this mystics, into this esoteric knowledge, and he created this sigil using an heptagram to call in the angelic forces. He even created a language, to call in the angels. So why the seven? I'm just going to break it down, because we have said it, like, you, 7 days of the week, seven alchemical metals, seven colors of the rainbow,
Seven
um,
chakras,
seven chakras, well, plus,
7 stars.
seven stars, Pleiades, also related to Earth and
Lucky
Nature.
number 7. Sorry,
Yes.
not to cut in. Just throwing it out there.
The Kabbalistic number seven, but also very important, that is barely spoken of. Speaking of stars, we have the oxes, which is Ursa Major,
Mm-hmm.
and that is very interesting, because definitely connects to the seven Pleiades, which are also connected to the seven Hathors. They would even say that every soul had seven bodies that would be guarded by seven Hathors, according
Mm-hmm.
to the mystery schools. So, what does this mean? We're talking about seven densities mainly. So, again, going to the core, why? How I mainly relate it to is to the cube. When you open the cube, speaking about matrix and reverse engineer technology. Okay, I'm a super scientist and I'm so much into technology. I want to reverse engineer the womb. What do I do? Well, I would use space geometries. I would create lattices with plasma fields, and then I would encrypt it through the quantum and creating an artificial womb. That is
Mm-hmm.
what we know as the artificial matrix. It's an artificial womb. So
Mm-hmm.
in order to, and I don't know, call it ironically or, randomly, it has the shape of the cube incubation. Why? Because it's compressing information through six densities.
Mm-hmm.
Is the counterpart of unity consciousness of source, is that version as I was touching upon last show, just to summarize. When source starts reinventing itself, experiencing itself, it creates different densities that say that in this reality the ninth is the highest one. Not that it's infinite, we can go into infinite densities, yes, yet in this reality. So when source wants to experience itself as separated from itself, then that is very much connected to the sixth density, which is let's say, the overlay architect, because it doesn't recognize itself as part of source. So it's the pseudo God. You know, I am, in a way that I am not part of everything. I am the creator, and I'm disconnected to my creation. It just serves me. I don't serve my creation. It just serves me, which is a different form of consciousness in comparison to source, which is I serve and I'm being served, anyway. So six phases regarding to those six densities, and the seventh is the center. Once you reach the center, you are reconnecting to unity consciousness. So for me, the seven hathors, the seven uh, bodies of the soul that in the ancient texts of the mystery schools they talk about, they are referring to the seven steps. Even the Mayans would talk about a seven-stepped pyramid, the seven steps that you need to go through in order to enlighten and then descend to fulfill the mission, which is um, um, the seven layers of Inanna's descendants. So anyway, for me, the seven is mainly, it's if it's so important is because every time that we're calling in that number, we are acknowledging that we are the center, we are the axis point. And by uniting them is that we open up the cube, we go beyond that incubated state, we are ready to give birth to ourselves, going from an inorganic matrix, an inorganic womb, into the primordial state or the primordial field where everything is unified. Not that in this reality is not unified, yet in the, like, it is. The thing is that we're in that process of remembrance, so as a collective. So now that seven is acknowledging that everything is interconnected, therefore we are granted the reality beyond, which is not above, is deep within. And this is very much what talks about this, the descendant of Inanna going to the underworld is talking about within. So, what do you think? Oh, and another thing that I want to talk about before I'm just jumping in is that the Mayans use a very specific algorithm code, which is 13, 20, 33. Even Melchizedek would talk about this code, which is the cosmic time. 13 cycles of the moon. The 20 is the Hunaku, which is related to the solar energy, whereas the 33 is the addition of 13 plus 20 is 33, which is the Christ consciousness. So these three algorithms are embedded in that cube. How? Through the chakana, when you project the cube. Let me just show quickly an
Yes,
image.
please.
In the meantime, go ahead. Yeah, just want to show. This,
So I was just going to mention that there's 7 keys and 7 doors. In
yes,
Egypt, that's another 7. Why do you need 7 keys for 7 doors? I stood in the front of those 7 doors and I had to pass each one of them, right? And you know what they look like: bigger, smaller, 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 right? So it was interesting that day I was working on a certain door, which was a door number 2. And I
yeah,
had this really, really tall guide. So yeah, he had me stand at the keys, meditate and pray over the keys before I went and stood and prayed over the doors. And then when I passed, he literally held me by the back, make sure that I passed through the second door.
yeah.
And then, because that was the one that I was hung up on. And then once I did, I actually stood in complete peace and I was singing, from my sacral chakra, because I finally passed it. But anyway, to the Chakana, you ready? There it is. I want to see this.
Yes. So this is known as the Chakana 33. Why? Because it has 33 qubits. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you push each one of those cubes that are out, like in the outer layer of the
Mm-hmm.
normal cube, if you push them, then
Mm-hmm.
you are stacking up again the core. But if they unfold as they are here, they are creating a void at the center. And that void is precisely shown in the Chakana, which in a bidimensional form is this one. If,
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
so imagine that the matrix is like this, the inorganic one. They
Mm-hmm.
render it in that way through the fundamentals of the universe so that it would be sustainable, yet through inorganic systems. So
Mm-hmm.
not fully as harmonic as this one, of course. So because well, actually, the inorganic matrix is not like this. The inorganic matrix is just a cube. When we unfold it, we create this. We create this, and we create the void inside. What is the void? Is the singularity? Is the acknowledgement that we are creators through the divine union, through the alchemical marriage within, the two forces, black and white, coming together, generating that singularity, that void, what is known as void. So that's the 33 as the 33rd aspect. And the 13, as I was saying, yes, it's connected to the to the lunar cycles. And the 20 is connected to the 4 suns that we have in our body, which are the 4 suns are connected to our hands and our feet, because we have 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 fingers, which are the 5 rays, which leads us to the 5-point star, which is Sirius, and which is also very much connected to Venus, you know? So yeah, no, no. Before going there, because actually there are so many jewels about the moon and the dragons and so forth that I want to share. What do you think about this? Tell us more about that? Those 7 portals and Karnak. That's the one that you were talking.
Yes, it is. Here are the 7 keys for everybody to see. Um, I felt very, very strong Egyptian energy today. Goddess Isis is extremely powerful. I mean, you look like a goddess Isis yourself today. And then this is the 7 doors where I stood and
Yes.
sing afterwards. But yeah, there is so much that you touched upon that I want to hear about each one of these things that you just said. Like, I want to touch upon a black vortex, right? The black vortex is the heart, the high heart is the creation, it's the womb also, right? It's the cube also, it's where you go in and where you pull in things into manifestation. And that's what we're going to go in. There are manifestations coming in too, right? Like today
Yeah.
is the 7-7. What are you going to do with the 7-7 today? What are you going to manifest? You know,
No, go
go
ahead.
on.
No,
No,
no, no.
go on, because
It
there's
was just
so
I was
much.
just
I
going.
can go
I
on about
was going deep
manifestation, but
within.
you have a lot. So I want you to unpack because I really love everything you said. You said dragons, you said Chakana, you said Isis. Oh, I said Moot, who was coming through very strongly, the mother Moot. I also was looking for the picture where I was in her temple, but I'll find that in a bit. So you go into the topic and I'll talk about Moot after.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Barely anyone talks about Mut, and she is so, so sacred. So, yeah, Ceci says manifesting Egypt. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we are going to Egypt. Just so you know,
Yes,
you guys, in
November.
November, we're going to Egypt. And
Yeah.
that's going to be so powerful. People are already aligning. I feel them falling into place. The energy started about 2 days ago for that from Sunday. Like once you align it, by the way, you guys, if you didn't know, Isha is an architect of the reality. You want anything manifested on any timeline, this is the girl you call, okay? She's going to align you with where you meant to go in whichever reality. She'll write the codes for you. So do yourself a favor, get her source code or get her session in the order
Oh.
to get moved forward or come on her trip, or we're also going to be doing goddess classes. So no matter what Isha
Yeah.
touches, Isha is this and I am this. So when Isha and me meet, this is what we do, right? We get you where we're meant to take you, but um stick
Yeah.
with us. You can't go astray. It's what I'm trying to say. But yes, do yourself a favor, work with Isha, because I tell her something and then there it goes, it's manifested. So
Well, likewise. Yeah, thank you so much, Adriana. Adriana was touching mainly upon you guys know that I'm currently delivering, like a few courses, online courses, the source code, the trips, and the conferences and so forth. About the source code, we will be using that big time in Egypt because it's not the same doing grid work, entering a place, let's say, like not shielded, yet not glowing fully your light body, rather than glowing fully your light body, and therefore that creating a huge plasma coherent field. Because whatever you experience in a temple, it's you're configuring it within your own vessel, within your own holographic vessel. So going into the temple, any temple place is going into you. So therefore, what you will be experiencing is exactly what is needed, according, because of course there is a very specific way of configuring your source code before going, what you want to tap into, which density. So it's like fully packed, and we have a very important mission regarding two stargates there. It's going to be huge, and later on we will be doing a show just on this because it's definitely a calling. It's going to be major, major, major. It's very much also related to the whole of records emerging. So we're preparing the field, and there are very specific prophecies that are calling in for people to assist and go and open specific stargates that will bring in the original solar codes that are very much connected, or that were held by the Syrians, the Syrian lions. So, and lionesses. So just to give an example, but anyway, we will also be like connecting, going to the cube. Where did the cube was inspired? If I was saying, like this kind of overlay matrix of inorganic matrix, well, they got the technology from very specific civilizations that were using the cube in another way. Let's say instead of being a black cube, it was a white cube. And this was very much related to Isis because it was a sacred incubation in which the people would be initiated, in this case priestess would be initiated to reach that level of connection, embodiment of their plasma field, to fulfill the practices that they were required to fulfill, such as giving birth through parthenogenesis, which is what we were talking also about, that virginal form of conception, to resurrect beings, because this is where the Isis story comes from, and the Mary Magdalene anointing Yeshua or YssaH, because it was a preparation to open up through their own vessel, through their own plasma vessel, amplify the field and go into the vessel of the other, preparing him, or mainly uh, through what they would call a sacred marriage, but it was a sacred marriage of the inner forces, which is kinetic and potential, generating that torsion, that singularity, amplified, 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 that you would become, that vessel of transmission for light, incubated for when the moment came for them to resurrect. And this was then later on a technique that was also very much passed also to men, such as Joshua, and other teachers that were very much not also into Egyptian teachings. They were also from Vedic monks. They were very much connected, and this is also related to the plasma, to the rainbow body in a different way. There are different variations, but yet the resurrection is a form of rainbow body. So it was the transmission, the priestess being that channel, harnessing that level of plasma and incubating it in the navel of the beloved, of the man, so that then he would unfold it. This was also again transmitted in ceremonial rites, to as connection of bringing heaven back to earth, and then very much connected to Ma'at. These ceremonial rites were between feminine and masculine, because again was bringing heaven back to earth, Nut and Geb, you know, and through Ma'at, which is the feather, which is that plasma field. Then that potential field of creation, of manifestation. Yet when it was passed on from priestess to priestess, this would be in a very with of course different variants. Yet it was more about amplifying definitely the plasma fields, heart to heart, womb to womb, the capability of transferring codes even through blood. Because, for instance, when a woman is menstruating, we know there have been experiments where they put together women in one room and then they unify their menstruating period. That's the power of the blood, the plasma in the blood, and the unified field, along with the lunar cycles, which is the next topic, which is huge, what I have to share with you guys. Yet, within those lunar cycles and, the full construction of the blood and so forth, like even when there is a sun dance and there is a woman menstruating, they don't allow her to dance. And you would say, oh, why? Because there are teachings like the Kabbalah, some rabbis say that because they are impure and they cannot go to the altar. But that's not the true core of it, because it's different when it comes from the chiefs. They tell you the core aspect of it, and it's because they consider this so sacred that they say that they are already going through their own ceremony, and their energy is so powerful, and the other ones are so open through that dance that they can literally, like make someone collapse, because you are fasting, like the other people is fasting, dancing in this ecstasy. So then feeling the power of the blood of the other bringing the life force, then the other one can collapse. So now, again, just to summarize on the light cube, because I was going deep into some memories in one of the temples that we will be going, Deir el Sherwit, which is, I call it the light cube of Isis. That was one of the temples, actually the only temple in that area that is redirecting all the Stargate nexus, but for what is underneath. And they replicated the same in the Kaaba. They put very specific machinery that is like the what I call the what I relate to the Robert Pablita psychotron, that is accelerating and bringing in the plasma field from people, but then they use it to redirect it and give psionic capabilities to the person that was chosen. But in this case, in this other type of things, they're just harvesting and then redirecting to the whole nexus, cubic nexus. But anyway, so the thing is that here in the light cube or the white cube of Isis, the processes of what was taking place inside that cube was the incubation of the plasma field, of the potential field in its purest state, to then empower the grid of the cosmic nexus, the cosmic earth nexus, the Earth's cosmic nexus, and very much connected to the nine, which are the different architectures, conscious architectures that are creating realities, and that were very much in connection to very specific galactic beings in that time, because it was all about sustaining the unity consciousness Earth's grid at that time.
Well, as we know, pharaohs, right? Like, they were sacred times aligned with the moon, when the ritual wise, the masculine and the feminine, which would be usually Pharaoh the queen, who chose the Pharaoh the king, and she would rule the spiritual and fertility, he would rule the land,
Mhm.
right? And so they would connect in that sacred, you know, dance, merge their energies. I can talk about that. So there's a sacred ritual, which long lost, but it's in Mary Magdalene lineage. It's what the priestesses were taught from the Nut to the Isis. So you have to align with your partner, all of your chakras, all the way from root to sacral. Sacral has been really active, root and sacral, by the way. And then your solar plexus, your heart, high heart, of course, throat, third eye, crown. And so as the Kundalini, we talked about this, the Kundalini changes, right? Like, and it starts coiling. The DNA between the two souls starts coiling. And as it does, the snake from one will rise, and then the snake from the other will rise. Then they start coiling. And so they will activate the root chakra first, then it will start the sacral chakra, then the solar plexus, then the heart. And the heart and high heart is where the high desire will be born, that will shoot into the throat, into the third eye, and then into the crown. But so Pharaoh and the Pharaoh, Queen and the King would connect at the third eye and project the reality that they desire to pull in, aka creating a black cube through the third eye. When you make noises, as such activities are happening, you're also creating your reality with the voice, right? And then what often would happen, we talked about this prior to, DMT will be released in the pineal gland. And that is the feeling of the wet brain. We talked about this before. So the cups, they used to call it the cups, would overflow between the two, which is plasma, right? Which is the plasma that you always talk about. And then as you create that plasma in that vortex, the two of you combine, coiled as the DNA, you would project the reality and manifestation and what you're creating. So these rituals were very, very sacred. They were practiced. And then if it happened that a soul would enter through them, right, then that child was usually blessed. He was something of the higher order. It could have been someone from Sirius, from Pleiades. It comes in through the Milky Way. I've seen where the entry place for the souls is through the Milky Way. It's also in Egypt as well, one of the entry points. Um, so that was why these practices were created. And that's why they were practiced, because that is how it was prior to Matrix, when it was primordial Matrix, when it was the cube that you were showing. That was the way of the merging. And if you look at any Mary Magdalene Codex, this will be mentioned in there, the sacred ritual between the union of the two, of bringing these energies of creating the heaven on earth or your own reality. And that's why special oils had to be used. That's why we had perfumers that were priests or priestesses that would massage these oils into the queen, into the king, right?
Yeah.
Because it all had to be aligned with a certain system, with a certain energy, that it had to happen. And my dog over there is having a lot of funny sounds, like transmuting the energy. So yeah, it's a lot of energies that it's coming in through today, especially with this live that we're doing, because I'm really feeling how you're coding in, this information into each piece that you're talking about. And I'm just giving the traditional practices that was done back in a day. So yes, here is the goddess mood, here is the sky
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
goddess mood, and then this is the entry, the door where you connect with her. As you see, there's a masculine and feminine there. That was me connecting with the door. So it was just, and this is in Dendera, as you know,
Yeah.
which was the place where you said I need to go. And I went, and you were like, you have to find a tiny room. And I was like, I wasn't going to miss that tiny room. So every tiniest tiny room I can find to enter, I went.
There
Whether I
were
was going to get
there were
stuck.
like a lot of tiny rooms.
Yes, whether I was gonna get stuck or not, alone or not, all my fear of like, I'm alone in this room and it's tiny, and I'm like going through, and men are, bringing me there. What fear of what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so one beautiful thing in Egypt, it's that men are very, very respectful to women, which was such a beautiful and refreshing learning for me. And that was such a, they recognize you, they can see your codes. A lot of people are very enlightened there. And so I think, once we go on to this trip, I can hardly wait, because I also want to touch upon the source code. I had my source code done. You made sure that I had my song. You made sure that I had my code, that I can open it as I enter each one sacred place. And I can tell you all, there was such a difference opening that code. And then you spin 7 times. And as you enter it, you really rebalance, and you're entering your own reality of that temple. And the downloads that you're getting in are so sacred and so powerful, and so many memories are stacking up and really coming in, that I was able to bring so much information through and start so many things with the divine union that I was holding a piece of, that it was tied to Celtic, that it was tied to Mexico, right? That it was tied to different locations that I hold sacred, Hawaii, sacred codes to entrances, right? So it was very, very, very powerful. So I would urge everyone, if you can get that done, do enter it through your sacred source code, because you get so much more, especially if you're coming on this trip. I mean, it was strong. And even just thinking about it, I can feel the energies that are going to come in, segment included, because I know you said we're going to 7 private visits. I didn't even get to have 7. I just went to like 11 locations, but 7 private visits, that's extremely powerful. So do you want to name them and tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. Well, there will be like overall like visits. We will be going to 15 places, and
Mm-hmm.
on which there are 7 private visits. Um, there are, like the Great Pyramid, the Sphinx, which there is going to be something huge taking place regarding to the Hall of Records. You know, something will be opened up there, a Stargate that had been deactivated for a while. So for that is required your source code activated. Why? Because you're tapping into the holofractal field. So you're not anymore communicating only through your human vessel, you're communicating through your light vessel. And for that to be, your source code needs to be upgraded because your source code is what activates the stargates truly. Um, it starts glowing. Your source code starts glowing because the stargate is acknowledging your DNA, your encoding. So, and of course, your geometry, which is first. So then it translates, at the biological scale through your DNA. So we will also be doing Hatshepsut in private. There is a very specific point where the node of the Stargate nexus of the whole Red Mountain is located, and that's huge. We will also be going to the Osiron, where the flower of life is. There will be a huge emission of the primordial codes regarding to the genetics of the mitochondria. Some codes that I have been tapping into and that are very much involving the chromosome 22. So, um, which is critical for the components that it has regarding to the plasma body and other things that I will be sharing, of course. Um, and when I say I will be sharing, actually, a lot of powerful people will be joining. Very powerful people such as yourself. That each one is already in this field doing a very unique task, fulfilling a very unique task. So it's a calling, it's an agreement, a soul agreement, So we already agreed before coming here to be there, at that time because of everything that will be unfolding after. So anyway, also Mount Anubis.
I was going to show everyone the
Uh,
my source code and the globe when I went into the Great Pyramid that
oh,
I activated. I couldn't stop glowing. Like
wow,
I was glowing so much that everybody was noticing my glow. And the
wow.
second I shot into King's Chamber, I immediately shot all the way out to Orion and established the connection with my source. And the song, I couldn't stop singing. It was nonstop. I mean, I started singing in a Queen's Chamber, but I really was in a King's Chamber. And it was just so powerful. The power that was coming through me, I had to reach out to you. I was like, Isha, ground me, help,
Yeah.
please. Because what's
I
happening
mean,
with
the
me?
Stargate of the Great Pyramid. There is also a Stargate there, and it requires
Yes.
access code. Yeah.
Yes, and correct. So I had it due to the source code, right? Whatever I brought in, it was so extremely powerful. By the way, the trip is happening in November of 2026. You might want to already register because registration is open now. So yes, please continue. I just wanted to interject that because that was just to
Thanks.
show people how much I actually glowed. It was like crescendo. So yeah.
Yes, we will also be going to Ahenaten City, the city of the children. There are electric currents taking place there, where his tomb was built. His body was never there, yet the place was chosen because it is just right where a very specific anomaly that brings in plasma fields is. One time there, I had such an experience that people was saying that I was slightly levitating, while meditating. So every place has a very specific purpose of bringing in the new codes for the new the primordial codes for the new earth. um, I We will also be doing Sekhmet Chapel in private. We will also be doing because you were asking about the private Abu Gharab, which is the Atlantean compass, which is the one that restores the connection to the true north. And many other places, private boat, um, all included. Yeah, just reach out to my email, which is I will be putting the flyer in the description of this video if you're interested to join. If you're, yeah, if you feel the calling, it will be a pleasure and an honor. So now, we were talking about well, I just mentioned about right now the true north. Okay, so I would like to dive into a very specific topic that we
Yes.
touched upon last time when you asked me about the activations that took place at Merlin's Cave. So now, and I was saying about the missing link between, the dragons and Isis and Hathor and the primordial feminine and the spheres and so on. So there is this um, connection, let's say, with the moon when it appeared in orbit, when the axis tilt appeared on Earth, and what the true original sin is. So we know that by these ancient texts, such as the Bible mainly, they talk about the original sin. What
Mm-hmm.
is original sin? Sin is moon. So it's the original moon. And there was a god, goddess, you know how it is that some people say it's God, it was a female, some people say it was a masculine, as we were touching upon, like all the feminine figures that they have erased from religious texts as the partners or consorts of very specific gods. We remove them. But anyway, when it comes to the original sin, what it's talking about is about the original moon. Why would all these sacred, super wise priestess, women, men, as the druids themselves, would take into consideration the moon if they, of course, had contact with the galactic community and they knew it was an artificial satellite? Well, there is a process to restore regarding to the moon as well. The original sin, in other words, is it's choice. What it represents is choice, because that's what happened. According to the texts, Eve and Adam made a choice, and that choice was named the original sin and blamed on someone else. And then, so there is a lot going on. And you can ask yourselves, you beautiful tribe joining us, how much of a sin you have unconsciously related your choice to. Every time that you have made a choice, how many times you had felt it was a sin because perhaps it affected indirectly someone, not because you wanted. Like, how many times you have felt that about your choice? And choice is what we have been concerned about, sovereignty. So, what can the moon possibly be holding or hiding? Remember that I was telling you about the 13-20-33, the Christ consciousness? 13, sin, moon. 20, sun. 33, Christ. You see the correlation? Sin, sun. So there is a lot of encrypted information of how to restore the field of the magnetic field. We want to go beyond the gravitational field, or at least harness it. Okay, then we need to know how the magnetic field works. And to know that, we really need to tap into how the magnetic field of the moon is influencing the Earth's field. And we won't do that by rejecting that. We actually need to know what's there and connect in a different from a different form of perception, to harness that, use that magnetic field in our favor for manifestation. Why ancient teachings would consider the phases of the moon for everything that they would do, and very much aligned to the menstrual cycles, because there is a huge connection between the plasma field and the magnetic field of the moon. Why? It's not natural, no. Yet, on to some extent, it's working through frequencies, through resonance. So once you start to master that magnetic field, you can go beyond the gravitational field that is influencing the 0 point energy within you, to actually master. How would you say you could use that energy on your behalf, Adriana?
So interesting piece is what you really have said about, when women get together or work together at the workplace, we're all synced up with our periods, with our monthlies, right? And why do you think that is? What are we manifesting? At work, we're manifesting a reality, right? Like success and abundance and prosperity for the company we work for. At home, we're aligned. What are we manifesting if you're living with another female? A happy home, right? So do you see how sacred that is? And then stem cells are included. What are the stem cells? The possibilities, unlimited possibilities, because the stem cell is the cell that can turn into anything in your physical body and heal if something's not proper. So with that whole manifestation of, not allowing woman to dance when she was on her period because she had, her womb was now having the unlimited potential to manifest anything, and her energy could be too much for anyone and everyone, right, to take in, because she becomes that vortex, that unlimited power, that black cube that you talked about. Now she's pulling in, if she's not conscious enough,
The
she
light
could
field.
be pulling in anything, right?
Yeah.
So had to be very sacred. That's why they were not allowed to be there, because they considered them unholy. But that was a whole flip thing of, the real, matrix, what actually the truth is. It's, you're very holy. That's why maybe you shouldn't participate, because you have that unlimited power, and you should be spending that time alone meditating, bringing in, what are you truly bringing into your reality. If you notice, you are most psychic the day before you get it. All the visions are coming in, and then the first day you're naturally pulled in. I've lived with a man before, and he always would tell me, "Dear God, go spend time with the other women. You need support of the other women. You don't need me, because you're gonna come after me and highlight all the things that I'm not." Yeah, because I see all these things, right? So, that's why, when the woman gets her monthly, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Let her go hang out with the other women.
Less with.
They're gonna give her the love and the nourishment and the support. Or let her meditate alone in her room, read her books, listen to some good music, because she is creating a reality. It's that powerful, right? So this is what I would talk about, that manifestation. Honor yourself in that manifestation. Take yourself seriously. What do you really want to create in your reality? Today is a magic day. It's powerful miracle day. Anything can happen, which is my favorite saying in this world, is anything can happen, because anything is anything and everything and something and nothing and all that there is, right? So manifesting, so very powerful through our human bodies. It's one of the most beautiful gifts we were given, and all this information you were disclosing with us has been hid in this universe from us. We were made to forget, because as we forget, we're not aware, we're clueless. We need others outside of ourselves to give us something that, once we align with the inside, which you touched upon, once we're aligned inside, we know where we're going with the true north, right? And I've been to Abu Gharaib. It's very, very sacred there. It looks like a giant compass that you align to. Energy is powerful. Just thinking about it, I'm getting a major download in my right side, because I must be realigning,
Yeah.
and so yes, I already can been there in the past, but I already feel the future as we go there in November. So these energies that are coming in, especially today, if you feel cold, we will be manifesting big time heaven on earth, next vibrational levels. So that's what manifestation means to me in so many different words. I hope I made sense to everyone.
Of course you did. Of course you did. And speaking of miracles, you were also mentioning the anointment that the priestess would do on the beloved or the man, with whom the whole ceremony would take place. And they were called, these women, these priestess, miraphors, which is very much connected to Mira, which is very much connected to the star Mira in Sirius.
Hmm.
Is miracle or wonder. So, what are the odds? Because anyone can say, okay, yeah, well, it's a coincidence, the star, the word. This reality has been constructed in such a precise form, and even more, the foundations of restoration to the primordial field. By means of this, every star has a frequency, an informational field that is continuously beaming to the Earth's cosmic grid, hence to our own holofractal vessel. And you know this perfectly, Adriana. So the thing is that now, with what could possibly be the role of Cetus, I was talking to Ceci earlier, and she brought the whales. Well, Cetus is the whale, and Cetus is very much present in a very specific way in the Denderas calendar. Not as a whale per se, because those names were given by the Greeks. The name that this constellation had was two figures, one a lion and the other one, such as Stephanut or Sept, and one behind that would be a humanoid form. And they would be pulling in the two fishes of Pisces. So by means of this, right through what star? Mira, which is the neck of the whale. So where am I heading to with this? Miracles take place again when the two forces, the two fundamental forces come together. Yin yang, negative, positive, kinetic, potential, so forth. The two forces come together to create a trine force, which leads to the singularity, that field of full manifestation, that miraculous field. What level A of power we have, that all this information was encrypted for us to see it, for us to observe it without truly seeing it, without truly being part of it. That level of manifestation we have, if all the priestess and priests and initiates and monks were brought into these teachings, you can. So, what is the difference? Discipline, believing it, allowing yourself to surrender to your divine power. Because, yes, we talk, or I talk about, the feminine aspect and the priestess. And nevertheless, remember that if you're a man and you're watching this, you're not isolated from that information. Actually, we're going through the path beyond separation, to actually come together and acknowledge one another by acknowledging within the wholeness. So every mythos, all you can mirror yourself, mirror miracle creation of reflection, of acknowledgement. What is consciousness? When a unit, a form of existence, mirrors into another one, as I have explained with the chirality of our hands. This is why our reality is chiral, because we have the power of mirroring. That's when symmetry takes place, not both forces looking at the same direction, both forces looking into the other, and then completion happens, so anyway, this leads me just to the connection of the dragons, because I don't want to miss that. I would love for you to, like, if you want to comment of anything about this. And also I would love to touch upon the dragons, because the like we mentioned Isis. I will just say this and then pass the mic to you.
It's all good. It's all good. Keep going, because all this information you're giving, I can feel it clicking in so many people's fields that are watching across time and space, whether they find it in 20 years and 100 years from now, 20 minutes, 20 years before, because time is fluid. Whatever you're saying, it's so extremely powerful and it's much needed. So please continue about the ISIS.
Thank you. Well, Isis, I appreciate it. Thank you. Isis is let's say every goddess, Isis, Hathor, and again, goddess, because they were Netheru, they were the divine nature of something. They were never seen or neither asked for to be seen by others as something higher than any other. It was more of a mirroring situation. See yourself through me. Like
Mm-hmm.
the same example that I always say through the eye. Who do you see? Look right close to my eye. Who do you see in my reflection? You see yourself. So that level of impeccability, of exquisiteness, is the essential truth, the higher truths of this reality, where we can still tap into the primordial field. So now, Isis would have seven priestesses, and these seven priestesses would actually, as Hathor and the seven Hathors, they would be representing each one of the faces of the cube plus the center, because everywhere, everything that they would do, they would be giving life to. And of course, it would be the full cycle, but they would not consider death. They would consider transcendence. Also, Inanna would have seven priestesses accompanying her. They would very much call them as well, like the seven mothers. Why? Because also there would be, as I was saying in the beginning, a high level of virginal form of conception. Come on, the Parthenon, parthenogenesis, all the priestesses, that's what they were doing, giving life through virginal form of conception, way before the time bandwidth that they have shown us in the timeline, like the time frame that they have shown to us in the timeline. Anyway, so these seven priestesses, each one would be in charge of also planting eggs. What type of eggs? Very much connected to dragon eggs. So these dragons remained in stasis. The moment has come now. Why dragons? I mean, perhaps this might sound too mythological to you, perhaps not. Perhaps you're very much tapped into. Just look at the wording, Messiah. Messiah, as they would call YssaH, comes from Mese, or also a dragon, that or crocodile from the Nile. We see dragons in Wadi El Jitan, in the museum in Wadi El Jitan in Egypt. They call them the first forms of whales, which is the Basilosaurio Isis. That's the name they gave to that dragon, and you will see, and it has legs. Does whale have does a whale have legs? No.
Correct.
Those skeletons have legs, four legs, and the whole structure is dragon-like. And again, the name given to them, Basilosaurio Isis. Why the suffix Isis? There is no coincidence, though everything is a code for us to see. So this Messiah, as why would they call them the dragon? Why would why would they relate the Messiah to the dragon? Because the dragon, the all-seeing eye in its ninth density, was the northern star, Tuban, the all-seeing eye, or the eye of the guardian, the dragon, before any form of corruption. So the dragon is that who oversees, that who guards what? Knowledge, wisdom, love, life. So the Messiah would be the guardian of life. Like, tell me how many mythos they talk about protecting life from the ones that live here. And this is where all things arise, like whether humans were extinguished or not, whether, because every form of existence wants to guard life in its own way, whether if it's catastrophic, in a catastrophical way, or whether if it's in a very right on spot way, because it's the survival instinct, life. These teachings of the priestesses through the plasma field were about transcending that survival instinct by remembering that death does not exist. Because these were teachings that were brought from the nine, which are the light architects, which are the masters of plasma warping, of plasma construction, of plasma rendering, because only this information could be held by the light beings such as the Hathorians. Why? Through the frequency of their voice, through the frequency of their movement, through the frequency of everything that they would create would be through the harmonics of light. 144. And then, so these eggs were put under the water in different points of the world, in different parts of the world. And with what purpose again? Caves, cavity resonators, guardians of knowledge that have observed everything, because for every sphere of the dragon, it has seen everything. It has overseen everything as the reverse engineered spectral spheres that we are seeing flying or levitating. They hold the records of earth, and so the water. So it's about restoring through the plasma intelligence, through the plasma consciousness, the connection between water as the quantum bridge, no, as the bridge to the quantum, and restoring the crystalline liquid lattice of the water through the wombs of creation, caves at an energetic level, earth great work, and through the wombs within each one of us. Also, men, you guys have an energetic womb, otherwise, you wouldn't be capable to create or to manifest by yourselves. Because the womb is not a physical, a tangible thing only. Let's think in at a scientific level. As I was saying, a womb is a hypercube, a stargate, a gateway that it's bringing continuously through life through the area of your navel. You're bringing in realities. You're bringing in full manifestations, whatever you choose. So this is also something that is coming back really like strongly for us to remember, that the more that we transcend the barriers of finiteness through our physical vessel and expanding our liquid crystalline structure into the water, then we will be occupying our place and bringing in, emitting those codes to those dragons in stasis for them to awake as the lineage that brings in the missing link between the true north and this reality. Realign ourselves to the true north, which is also something very much connected to mastering the magnetic field. Once you master your magnetic field, you're capable to bring in your heart to the true north. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to take the miracle mira that you said, the star. And I'm also going to say in Spanish, you say mira, mira, right? Don't you say that?
Yeah.
Like, over here, give me your energy, right? Or look there, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
when you give energy to something, it manifests. The more people give the energy to something, it manifests. The more people putting things, why do people pray? Why do people, send positive energy to someone when they're not doing well, right? All of this is so aligned. You're sending your energy into that manifestation. That's why when we're aligned, when we get together, right, when we go to different shows and different events and different positive things that we put our energy into, however you want to view it, it manifests. And especially if you have power of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or more, right? So all this sacred energy that is coming through. And then astrologically, you were just talking about each star in the sky, it's doing something to each one of us in a human body. What were we just talking about at the beginning? Planet of good luck and expansion, Jupiter, it's in Leo, the courage, right? And then planet of Venus, it's currently in Leo too, which is all about passion. What is the Venus? It's love, passion, abundance, prosperity. How do you open up to receiving things, right? Yeah, yeah. And then right, so each planet, Mars is, and we each have each one of these planets in our astrological charts. So Mars is how you go about getting things in life. It's using your masculine to pull in something, right? So you're grabbing things, then you're pulling it in. When you look into someone else's eyes, which you mentioned, you see yourself, but you also see their soul. And it's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Prior to going live, I was talking to my daughter and I was looking in her eyes, and I kid you not, she's a Leo. We have these two Leo things in the stars, and I saw pure segment in her eyes. There was this giant cat looking at me, and we were having a conversation because today's highly emotional day as well. A lot of people are releasing. I'm going to play the ball in a bit later in the order to help everybody release. And it's something what we're going to be doing in Hawaii by the Pele Big Island. We're going to be releasing and shedding the old parts. But yeah, as I was helping her release and I held her hand, and she was like asking me what my feedback about her was, and I was like, I'm so proud of you. You're the continuation of me. You know what I mean? Like, you're so strong and so powerful, and you're the next level of me. So you're that ancestral power times 10 now being sent into the universe. So yeah, when you look into someone's eyes, you see, because we have black pupils, right? You see their black vortex, you see their soul, you see the creation power as you look into someone's eyes. Why do we look into eyes? Why, when you meet someone and they have sunglasses, they go, "Oh, may I please see your eyes?" You want to connect. Have we met before? Right? Like, have we? Do I know you? Do you know me? Is there soul recognition? And sometimes you meet someone and you're like, I couldn't stop staring them in the eyes. You know what I mean? Black vortex. What are we co-creating? The two souls that you said that sit like this, that each has a melody of the soul, you know? And how do we merge together and sing together and dance together and co-create with geometrical shapes? You know, back again to what you said, you're giving us so many secrets of the universe. Like I said, we each have astrological charts. We each brought something in. We all unlock something in someone as we go. And there's no coincidences. You are exactly going to meet who you're meant to meet at the moment you're meant to meet, to do whatever you're meant to do together. And it's the most beautiful thing when you realize nothing is coincidence. You
Um,
know, and the power you have. Go ahead.
no, I was just telling you, why don't you share with us a little bit about our retreat to Hawaii and also the classes that we will be giving once uh,
Next week.
next week? Yeah, starting
so
from.
we're so we're starting goddess classes. There's going to be 9 of them, one each week, and we're going to go with over each goddess, incantation, meditation in each class. You can sign up for each class individually, or you can sign up for 9 classes. If you sign up to come with us to Hawaii, you can get the classes for 50% off. Okay. What are we going to be doing in Hawaii? So many different things. We're going to Big Island. We're going to be meeting Goddess Pele.
Yeah,
We're going to be releasing things with her, burning things away with the fire. We're going to be going by the ocean and re-nourishing and opening. And we're going to be then moving on to Kauai, where we're at. There is the whole lineup of different things we're going to be doing. And this trip is happening September 7 to 14. So 7, the holy number, 9, number of completion, right, Isha? And then 14 reduces to 5, which is number of change. These are all the location we're going to be going to. And then in Kauai, we're going to be accessing the Lemurian codes, which is like a connected to Egypt, preceding to Egypt in November. So how powerful is this? All the water healing, fire and water healing that we're going to be doing, the balancing the divine feminine and the masculine together. It will
yeah,
be so powerful. They will take place in Hawaii. And then all along, starting now, you're going to be getting goddess classes. So you will be learning about the goddess and learn how to harness the powers and what they mean. You know, we deal with my big passion is all about how do I get a ritual? How do I, learn something from that goddess, right? How do I bring it in my reality? How do I manifest it? How do I move myself forward? Because I just had this talk, as I said, a lot of people emotional today. Some people were releasing, and I was like, don't you want to release on this 7-7 so that you can move forward, so that there's nothing from the past left inside of you? So that you can create not from the past, but from the current moment, pulling in the new energies. Because often the reason that affirmations and visualizations don't work is because you're still creating from the past, from your old beliefs. And we have to let go. Like, today's that great day to let go, and something we will be doing in Hawaii we will be letting go with a beautiful ceremony with Goddess Pele. And we're going to go to different places. We're going to go on the coast. We're going to go see where the kings were born, on a big island. You're going to get to swim there. Going to be extremely powerful. Every one step that we've chosen in our itinerary is going to be so strong.
Yes.
So, you're in for a treat if you feel that you want to be part of that divine feminine energy in Hawaii. And I don't know, I just feel such softness and nourishment and strength. And as you know, water is extremely powerful. So we will be working through all of those energies there to prepare ourselves for the fire of Egypt that will
Yeah.
be coming. So the way I would look at it is you're going to receive bigger feminine healing in Hawaii, island of Hawaii, more water, more nourishing, more nurturing, more recoding, more Lemurian, like an older codes that will be coming in, so that then you can receive the energy of the sun, which is stronger, more masculine in Egypt. But nevertheless, you will be balancing feminine and masculine as a result. So yeah, those two trips that we have, including the classes that will be preparing you for that, it's very, very strong. And so we put things together because I just felt it was the information that really wanted to come through, that is really relevant to what is currently going on in the world, that is aligned with astrological um alignments that we have. So think about it. We're taking you from 7-7, which is today when we're launching, to 8-8, which is Lionsgate and Sekhmet coming through,
Mhm.
into 9-9. We're gonna be in Hawaii, right? Releasing with Pele. So it's ton 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 ton, right? Like, it's so strong what we're bringing through. So thank you for being here. But yeah, it's very sacred. Like I said, I will be playing the ball to help everybody release, because today, for some people, it's highly, highly emotional. A lot of tears, a lot of releasing. Because what today holds, it's a 7-7. So you're realigning your physical and your spiritual today. You're getting the energies for both, and you're coiling that into the universe, that new upgraded, updated self.
Hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, the way that you always do, uh, impacting right into the heart and the mind. And of course, the joy, which is, I love it. Um, well, I just wanted to add to the sacred experiences and initiations that will be taking place in Hawaii. As you can see, if you are interested, I will be sending. We will be sending this information also to your email so that you have it. We will also be sharing it in our platforms. You can see that there is a lot of connection to the Lemurian and Moon codes. Um, the Christ at heart, within, the rainbow flame. Um, there will be very deep, deep, deep connections taking place. Just wanted to transmit this, that if you feel the calling to go in depth within you, reaching that state of vulnerability, therefore reaching the highest state of expansion, of self esteem, of um, seeing yourself for who you truly are, and occupying your place, because right now the new earth requires from our wisdom, our knowledge, the divine containment and expansion of creation of the divine feminine. Sometimes we don't take ourselves seriously, yet we are even having fun. We are experiencing a critical stage of human evolution, And if we don't occupy our place and see what we truly have to offer, taking ourselves seriously, then what's the point? That's why other people, the other beings that take themselves seriously, they're where they are at. So it's it's our choice. Remember, the original sin is your choice. And your choice is not in any institution. It's not in anywhere else, not in a person, not in a thought. It's within you. You choose. So if you choose to join us and go in depth to remember the most crystalline and pristine states when you came here to Earth, and want to reactivate those codes that are so required in this time of Earth's evolution and human evolution, then see you in Hawaii.
I'm super excited. So, are we ready to do a little bit of an energetic release to help everybody let things go? We don't have to, go after. I just kind of feel the energy that people are ready to let go. So, this is a beautiful soul pool. It's going to help us let things go. If you do get any kind of light codes coming through that you want to take a deep breath, everyone. And we're going to do the release, the Ho'oponopono technique. So I forgive myself. And I forgive all of you across time and space. And all of you across time and space, please forgive me. And I thank you, Divine Source, for all these beautiful life lessons. I release all of them now as they serve me no longer. And so it is. And now I'm just going to play this off to help you release and let go. I feel all of your hearts are wide open. So your vortex is open. I invite you to bring through a miracle. So feel free to ask whatever you'd like to manifest in this moment, this very sacred moment that you're aligned to true north, to your spiritual, masculine, feminine, in your physical body, through your heart. What would you like to manifest into your reality? Thank you all. I
Thank
should have
you.
realigned you. Yeah.
That's super powerful. Super, super powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome. In Hawaii, we're going to be playing bowls and singing and realigning and opening up our chakras, including our voice. So yeah, Inanna's coming in strongly. What message does she have for everybody? Goodness.
Huh.
So she wants to be
Uh,
mentioned. Do you want to talk about her? Because she just came in really strongly, just coiled right in with the snake.
yeah, she has been coming on pretty much. Well, it's about truly seeing the power of sexuality, of the divine force of creation, is not being afraid of experiencing yourself as the very same creative force, becoming that serpent of light, bringing in the most mundane aspect of you, the most human aspect of you, to elevate it. Because you can only elevate the human once you truly embody it. And that embodiment is sometimes what it was even made you to think as not sacred, always aiming above, above, to the stars. And the sacred union, the sacred marriage is just also heaven on earth. What is more earthly based than your physical body? What
Mm-hmm.
is more heavenly that the divine, the most of all version of yourself, making love to one another? So see beyond the triggers that have been placed on what sexuality is, all the contamination, the pollution that has been put on it. Present yourself in front of yourself in this humble and honorable state of divine union, of a ceremony where you're bringing heaven on earth within you. Activate your divine life force, your kundalini, your tantric. Don't be afraid of making love to everything, of making eternal love. And by eternal love and making love to everything, it's not in that tangible form. It's doing it in the highest form to bring in tangible things into manifestation.
Oh, that was very, 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 very beautifully said.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to say something?
Extremely powerful. Um, like I said, we have a black hole in our uterus, right? Second sacral chakra. A lot of healing has been coming through with that. Another one we have in the heart, which is the desire for manifestation, then the throat speaking, and then projecting through the third eye. So, as you are connecting with the universe, as you put it, making love with the universe, you are using these vortexes in your body. So, every word you ever say, you're using words to manifest. They become a creation. So it becomes a sacred creation. And you look so much like the goddess right now. You're morphing in front of me, Isha. I'm seeing like goddess Isis, one of the high priestess inside of you, going all the way into Greece, which is so interesting because, as you know, it was Egypt and then it was Greece and then it was Italy. Aren't we going to go to Italy, Damanhur, too?
Everywhere. everywhere.
We're gonna be all over the place, you guys. We're gonna leave our DNA everywhere we possibly could go underneath the sun. Yeah, we're also going to Hawaii first. So, like I said, it's just gonna be really, really, um, really powerful. So, all the shifts that I'm seeing from people, a lot of people, reaching out to me. Some people had a lot of good things happen to them. Unexpected money show up as a gift.
Mhm.
Unexpected miracles, positive. Some people are releasing things by being sick, by purging, by letting things go, right? So whatever has happened to you today, don't judge it, embrace it, because everything in life happens for a reason. If you're pursuing the perceiving that it's something negative, then perhaps you should look at yourself and see why you're releasing that, why you're letting that go. What was the old belief that you had lodged in your body that wants to be freed from inside of you? If you feel that something good has arrived, then know that you're getting the payout from the universe, that wherever you're going to be aligned, um, or are aligned with something, you passed the lesson and now you're getting a payout for the lesson. So everything in this great wheel of life, in this great alignment of life, you are at the perfect place and every perfect moment, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, whether you're lost and you don't know. But I feel like we are in July now, and Neptune, planet of illusion, delusion, dreams, just went retrograde today. So what does that mean? That means and it's gonna go till the December, late December. That means that we're going to be reviewing, the pink glasses have fallen, and we're going to be relooking at our reality and see what we have manifested until now. And with Mercury being retrograde, you repatterning, reshifting, rewriting, relooking at different things. Mercury, it's communication. Neptune, it's dreams, spirituality, illusion. Why is this time very good to change, rewrite your life in next 6 months? A lot of new things we're stepping into, a lot of new power we're stepping into. A lot of women are getting sexual freedom, reclaiming their sexual freedom. You know, it's powerful. All the power rising from all of these women finding themselves again, reclaiming themselves again. Men really opening their heart, allowing their heart to be open and to be vulnerable and to feel after not being able to feel for such a long time, and told to shove their feelings, and it wasn't safe. It's very, very beautiful, to be who you are. I like what you were saying. Step in your authenticity, use your voice. This is your time to use your voice, to be heard, to be unapologetically yourself. We've balanced so many things. We're going into Leo at the end of the month. What is your courage going to be to show up, right? What is your passion? That's when your passions are going to be getting grounded. Once Venus on the ninth goes into Virgo, you're grounding your reality. So what in these 2 days are you bringing through? Because it is that powerful. We're giving you a lot of tools here. YssaH gave you a lot of tools. She told you how to manifest. She told you, you can rewind this, rewatch it 10 times, if you need to. She gave you a complete breakdown of how to manifest and pull something in. And then if you're still having a hard time with it, reach out to her. She'll write you a new and architect you new reality.
And
I'll
so,
help you let things go.
yeah,
Right? Like, I'm good with taking you from one quantum field into the next quantum field.
yeah,
So, whatever you feel called to, Yes, you're right. That's true. Men are getting into their feelings and heart. I'm seeing it all over the place.
Yes.
So very powerful. So this is our time. You're here, you're watching this, you're cold. Step into it in any shape, form, and a way you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, if you're interested in joining our classes, just write to the email that I will be writing in the description below this video. We will be going deep into these topics. You know, yes, I shared. We shared both a lot of information. However, we will be doing some practices, which is easier. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to do that on live, but sometimes it's like too much energy that when it's contained, So, um, but yeah, we will be doing practices about things that we both shared, and of course, at the retreat in Hawaii, we will be going deep into that and the other trips as well. So, it will be very beautiful having you joining us on this in any of these events. And thank you so much for nourishing uh, us with your beautiful comments, with your beautiful energy. It's a continuum, it's reciprocal, So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being open to receive from these codes and also planting yours. Um, you shared a lot of jewels, all like throughout all the show, and also right now, astrologically, what's taking place. Let's also remember you mentioned that last week, but a lot of solar activity, a lot of nuclear activity in the Earth's core. We have also discerned that is now in pause, this periodic pause that it has. So if you guys start, I will do a video on this, a short clip on this, right? If you guys feel that there are weird things taking place regarding to the space, it's for the timelines or the spatial temporal constants, is part of
Mm-hmm.
the fissure of the rifts that they are creating every time that they are colliding particles. Um, so the field is regenerating. If you see spiders, the spiders will be coming like strongly, not because it's raining, not because perhaps it's not raining everywhere for sure, but the spider code will be coming again strongly, because they regenerate with patches, energetic patches where there needs to be, um, something to be taken care of, to be realigned, spatiotemporal constants. They are weaving, um, again, these energetic patches to regenerate what energetically has been taken due to those rifts, created on purpose through the space time fabric. And this is not the first time that it happens. This happened even in ancient civilizations. This is why the great forgetting took place, because they messed up so much with the neuronal network of the planet, of the quantum, of the space memory network within this field. Uh, on Earth, that then, like all those neuronal pathways shut down. It's not that they are dead, they can be reactivated. But the thing is that how? Well, empowering ourselves, nourishing our plasma field, uh, acknowledge, remember that everything is interconnected, that we live in a unified field. Therefore, you can be expanding, breathing out your plasma field and restoring, connect with those spiders, be that spider weaving the lattice, regenerating the lattice with the primordial field, so that if you feel that there is a lot going on, your memory is kind of off, the emotional body, like all those aspects, is because unconsciously there is a going back and forward in between spatiotemporal constants, that it's like, okay, so now what am I facing? So then you need to move on from one side of you, but then again, another reality is presented to you. So then you're like, but wait, so then what? This or this? So that's where the true mastery of knowing thyself beyond any reality comes from, because your principles are your principles, your foundations are your foundations. So focus on them. Regardless of the scenario, you will know what to do as long as the core is strong, you know? So, yeah.
It's that those were some powerful words. So whatever Isha shared with us today, extremely, extremely powerful.
Likewise.
I'm looking forward to, our classes and more lives. And everyone, thank you for joining us and being part of this 7-7, this change that we're bringing through, this difference that we're all making in this world. So many blessings to all. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Yay.
And much love from us to you.
You know what? I was becoming aware. Well, I had been for a while, but when you do this,
Uh-huh.
you
It's
create
the
the
heart.
eye. No, the eye. If you do
Oh,
it like
the
this,
eye.
like,
Okay, I could do
but
the
like
heart.
this is the
Anything with the
eye. Like
eye.
the head is the pupil,
Okay.
and your arms are creating the eye.
I see. This is your daily case of sillies by Isha and Adriana. This is what we actually really look like at all times every day.
Yeah, I love you so much.
Yeah,
Come here.
this is
Let
what
me
we
give
look
you
like
a hug.
on a
Come
trip.
here.
So yeah, you come with us, you're gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
Can't take us seriously for one split second anyway.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
love to you all.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Until next time. Hunuh.